don't know if I'm going to post this. I'm not sure where to start. So, some repercussions from sharing online, some backlash from some people that I've been dealing with. I haven't disappeared and I'm not running scared. I am processing a lot of information because I ended up seeking treatment for the so-called anxiety and depression for the first time since this all began. Amazing doctors, incredible experience. We'll share it. Sorry, it's like 9:30 at night. The day is done, and now I am about to climb into bed and read and write, play some guitar, which I would never have done before I went in for treatment. I would be working, panicking, and smoking lots of cigarettes. So I have learned some stuff. I'm still busy processing a lot of stuff, and that's why I've been laying low, because with all the chaos and drama that ensued, I kind of got caught up in it as well, and I lost direction. But a website has been launched, resources are being added, and I'm going to continue to do it because for some reason I keep going back to it. I'm dealing with life stuff at the moment, very, very serious life stuff. It's very ugly. It's not fun. Strangely enough, there is no more anxiety or depression, which is making me question that whole thing now. And I'm going to be doing more research on that because I suspected it wasn't what it was. It was something else, and that's been confirmed, not just by my own experience, by some top-notch medical professionals. Amazing. I'm so glad I went. I wish I had done it years ago, actually, but I never could find the time. I was never given the opportunity to take this break. I was very skittish, and I called myself jaded and suspicious. And I think it was like the first altercation we had, or disagreement, difference of opinion, and my knee-jerk reaction was like, okay, I'm done. I don't need this. So he sent me the song. A lot of our courtship was revolved around music and sending each other tunes. And he had sent some great tunes, I think, corkers. This is the one that made me come back and actually stay. See if I can get it right. I'm not a rock star. I don't want to be a rock star. Yeah, so I played that. It's the first time I picked up a guitar for a very long time. And I picked it up and I learned to play that song. And I recorded it and I sent it to him. And it was awful. I mean, it's awful. I don't play well. I've been doing this for banging around on a guitar for about 20 years and I've never actually learned to play the thing. But I do it because it makes me happy and it's fun. So the point was initially to look foolish to him so that I could be honest and try and avoid the usual. What did he say to me once? We have shown all our plumage and feathers or something, that we could get real now. But right from the get-go, it was about being honest and not being perfect, which is the point of this whole perfect thing, that there's no such thing. And we all are anyway. So, hobbies. I'm going to be posting random stuff on what to do in Cape Town when you're dead, socially. But it's by choice. A lot of it's by choice. I'm kind of isolating because I'm processing and I'm working on a lot of stuff. And I'm working physically. I'm building stuff because I spent a lot of time trying to help a lot of other people. Ended up getting myself into some more financial trouble. And then some people helped me, and I'm going to pay them back. And I'm going to pay them back big time. Not many, but some. Yeah, so it's okay to look foolish. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to be good at stuff and still do it. And to have fun. Just because it's good to do stuff. That's different. Shakes things up a bit. This is another one he sent me. This is a corker. Can't sing it. I've never got it right. How's it going? Song. I haven't played guitar for a long time either. I haven't been playing. This is so important, especially when things are sad and hard, is to find those pockets of joy. And they're there. Nothing's all ever one thing. I told this story in recovery at a meeting. They asked me to share randomly, I think, at that time. Anyway, I thought I was losing a pet. She was in intensive care, and I was going through a divorce, and I was grieving the suicide of my dad because I hadn't done that, and I'd recently got sober, so everything kind of hit at once, and I was processing all the stuff. It was a rough time. Then, all of a sudden, my cat started to suffocate. Took her to the vet. She went into intensive care, and I went home, and the vet phoned, and he was like, it's not looking so great. And I was sitting in the lounge because they teach you to sit with feelings. This is the key to everything, to healing everything, sorting out everything, is just to learn to sit with feelings. And we're never taught to do that. It's ridiculous. It's like the first skill a parent should teach children. Anyway, so they teach it to you. I'm sitting in the lounge, like, tears coming out. Don't like crying. Not comfortable with feelings at all. And the tears are coming down, and all of a sudden my son, I think he must have been about 5 or 6 at the time, comes charging down the passage with a water pistol, shouting, "Cowabunga!" and like shoots me with a water pistol. And I sat there crying and laughing at the same time. And it just made me really understand that there's no such, it's not black and white. It's never all one thing. It's never all good and all bad. It's never all sad. And there's always, some bittersweetness in the beauty and the joy as well. So yeah, it's finding these moments of happiness and joy when things are tough is very, very important. I think it creates resilience and hope. Yeah, and also it doesn't, I've been feeling, I have that picture from the never-ending story of the boy trying to pull the horse out, in the swamp, where when you think sad thoughts, what was it? That if you let the sadness overwhelm you, that was it, the swamp of despair or something, that you sink. So it's a fight, it's a battle to not sink into despair. It's not depression, it's despair, I think. It's the lack of hope. The that really, really gets it going. And then the physiology goes with it. I find I start moving more slowly. I start sitting hunched down. I don't look up. So there's this whole physiology that kind of goes with that mental state that then I think activates it. And apparently actually activates the neurochemicals. So that's what sends you in. So they also say, and I've been doing it because I'm fighting it, the despair. It's not depression, it's despair. It's a lack of hope that I'll ever be able to change my circumstances, because this has been going on for some time. And I'm tired now. And having this person and my last bit of support removed has been very, very harsh. So it's to not sink into that despair, the lack of hope, the swamp of despair. It's to find the pockets of happiness. Anyway, I have not been playing. I have not been doing hobbies. The fun things, the silly things, the childlike things. Play, to be light for a bit. So I haven't played guitar for a while, which is why I'm really sucky at the moment. But I don't care, because I'm not into perfection. In case you haven't kind of cottoned on to that yet. Last one, and then I'm going to read and write. I've got an article I'm trying to finish. Oh wait, we did that one. What a beautiful face. How's it go? Totally fluffed that one. Anyway, it's a great song. Try again. Push my fingers through your mouth to make those muscles move. Oh, such a pity. More practice, more play. Training. How about this one? Oh, how about this one? I haven't played for ages. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before be posting some videos on Play and looking ridiculous so that other people feel safe to look ridiculous too. Perfection's a form of addiction, they say. That makes complete sense, doesn't it? What else do we know? Okay. Said partner will come to you at night time. I will raise you from your sleep. Did that. Kiss you in 4 places. Did that too. As I go running along your street, I will squeeze the life out of you. You will make me laugh and make me cry. Did that too. We will never forget it. You will make me call your name, and I will shout it to the blue summer sky. And we may never meet again. So shed your skin and let's get started. And you will throw your arms around me. Such a great song. I dreamed of you at night time, and I watched you in your sleep. I met you in high places. I touched your head and touched your feet. So if you disappear out of view, you know I will never say goodbye. And though I try to forget it, you will make me call your name, and I'll shout it to the blue summer sky. And we may never meet again. So shed your skin and let's get started. And you will throw your arms around me. Yeah, you will throw your arms around me. Oh, it's such a good song. Should we get it right? Okay, so classic one. You don't have to watch this whole thing, by the way. You know, what is it? The polyvagal theory. I posted quite a lot about it. I don't know if people actually read articles. I think at certain times they do on social media. I'm not a social media fundy. In fact, I've become quite anti it after seeing a life coach who I admire very much his work, research on it, and how bad and unhealthy it is. And then, you know, taking breaks, extended breaks, and seeing the difference in my own personally, my own kind of perception. Wow, it's a big difference. There's a big difference to sitting on social media and seeing the good bits of everybody's life. Because I mean, we know this; those are the good bits. And then, especially if you're having a challenging time and you're not feeling so great about yourself. And I keep posting this documentary that he's done, Richard Grannon. It's called Plugged In, and he started off. Go see that. It's on YouTube. Plugged In, Richard Grannon, Spartan life coach. Man's a genius. Sorry, he's like my hero at the moment. It's like groundbreaking work in psychology and coaching. It's not psychotherapy. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. With all due respect to all the psychotherapists out there, this guy is onto something big time. But this documentary, Plugged In, and the statistics on teenage attempted suicides. Sorry to go on about it again, but that's why I'm here. And depression and anxiety 50% increase over the last, and this documentary was made a while ago. So he said then over the last 5 years, 50% increase in teenagers being treated for anxiety and depression, 70% increase in takes into hospitals to be treated for depression and attempted suicide, 70% in 5 years, which I think is around when Instagram was launched. It's not in that documentary. There's another talk he's done where he's gone and he's actually interviewed the marketing strategists and the developers for these platforms. And what they're doing, how they're hooking us in with algorithms and dopamine, hits of dopamine, basically. And they're doing it intentionally. It's friggin' evil. They know that they're getting you addicted. That's what the point. That's what they're working on. That's where the money is. So please, just do some research, educate yourselves, and educate your kids. It's dangerous. I'm not being what are they? I can't even think of the word. But this is serious shit, and we're the sort of guinea pigs. Our kids are this is where they're seeing the effects of it. And it's real. This is not a joke. This is happening. And Instagram's the worst culprit, by the way. Because they're saying that is purely, it's a visual, like, pop of beauty. It's all, it's very superficial stuff. So, and that's what the teens are using. Yeah, 50% increase. 70% increase in attempted suicide. That's something, yeah. So we can keep on walking by, but if you've got teenagers, please watch the documentary, educate them. It's getting cold now in here. Just had a nice hot shower. There's something else I wanted to say. Oh, singing. The polyvagal theory, and I don't know if anybody watches this, reads this stuff that we were posting on Facebook. Susanna was doing it. She is dealing with also her own life crisis at this point. She was phenomenal. She helped kept the ship afloat on the social media side. Wonderful woman, a real healer, not just there for the bucks, and. Yeah, she deals with TRE and the polyvagal stuff, the the polyvagal theory. There are lots of podcasts on it. This is around anxiety. If you suffer from anxiety or you have kids or teenagers that suffer from anxiety, it is a way to regulate the body with different exercises that work. This is more research. This works. And one of the things is singing. Singing brings down your anxiety because it raises the tone of, they call it the vagus nerve, which is your kind of attached to your reptilian brain. And that's what gets activated if you suffer from anxiety. You can have panic attacks and stuff like that. It basically is a physiological reaction to a perceived threat. So your body goes haywire, your heart rate picks up, you start to sweat. It's a physical response, and it's very, very unpleasant if you're dealing with it. So there's a few things you can do if you're feeling anxious. I'm going to put a jacket on because now it's getting cold. And I'm going to... Yeah, you can splash cold water on your face. Put ice blocks on your wrists. That's one of the methods. You can rub your neck, massage the back of your neck. Okay, it stimulates the vagus nerve. You can singing. I used singing a lot. Singing when if you're too shy to sing, and it's also why I enjoy banging around on the guitar and howling at the moon occasionally. It raises the vagal tone, which helps with anxiety. Not that I suffer from anxiety anymore. I mean, how weird is that? It's more questions, more research. I don't even know if this is a thing or if it's purely... Anyway, we'll get to that later. I need a new jacket, but I'm broke. Because I was helping everybody else. Okay. Okay, so singing If you're too shy to sing, then humming. I used this with my little boy. Also suffers from a bit of anxiety. They say it's genetic. I don't think it's genetic. I think it's learned. So I taught him to sing, and now he does it all by himself. You can't believe how much he's improved since I've improved. Different child. They pick up cues. I think that's how it gets passed on in the family. I don't think it's a genetic predisposition. I think it's learned behavior. But anyway, I'm not an expert, but I will be eventually. Then people will have to listen to me. So singing or humming. And then you can put your hand on your heart. Just that. Just put your hand on your heart. If you're sitting in a, meeting or a classroom or something, and you don't want to be looking any more weird than you feel, just put your hand on your heart. You just rub the back of your neck. Belly breathing, phenomenal. Breath work is phenomenal to help with this stuff. So we're at the treatment center I was in, they taught us belly breathing. Now, my son had learned this. I put him through a self-esteem course when he was struggling a couple of years ago called, I don't know if I'm allowed to say stuff. Anyway, she's great. So you can welcome to PM me or whatever if you need information. It's for little kids. And they taught them belly breathing. Little did I realize that that's good for big people too. So belly breathing, just breathing into your stomach, and that you can do anywhere. You can do it in a business meeting, or if you're in the principal's office because you've been naughty. Into your nose, into your belly. Always make sure that your out breath is longer than your in breath, because if you breathe in longer and out shorter, you are raising your heart rate, so you actually make yourself more anxious. I think that's what athletes do before they run. Okay. But it kind of fires your body up. I know I actually use one of those in yoga. It's called the breath of fire. It scares the hell out of my 8-year-old. But it energizes the body. So if it's slowing it down, I think you all know this. Why do we know this stuff and then nobody uses it? It's silly. It's in 4 counts, hold 5 counts, out 6 counts. I do quite a slow breath. I do in for 7. I do in for 7, in for 6, hold for 7, out for 8 or 9. Yeah, so, and then through your nose. Hold for the right amount of time and then out slowly. And that will physically lower your heart rate. It's also good to help you fall asleep at night if you're struggling to sleep. So, research the polyvagal theory. There's an amazing website called Therapist Uncensored with podcasts on this. This is fact. It's been proven. It's not some hippie stuff. There's lots of information out there. I'm going to be posting resources but this is really, people's personal journeys. It's to find what works and to take, I think, control, an illusion, a bad word, to take ownership of their own healing and journeys, to become empowered and to step up and not be, victim mentality is not conducive to beating mental health issues at all. So that's just a no-go. So I'm doing lots of research. I'm still doing lots of research, watching lots of videos, reading books, writing, talking to people, listening. And so we go. Anyway, I don't know if I'll post this. I probably will, because I want other people to not be feel awkward about being silly and having fun. Look for the moments of light, because they're all around you.